Welcome back to Meditated Art. So these are the new brushes that I picked up the other day. There was the fan brush, 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch flat, and another one. I don't know what it's called. So this painting today is going to be a bit of a departure in many ways. So I decided that as today is, February is, I believe, Black History Month, and today is Rosa Parks Day. So I thought that I would do a portrait of Rosa Parks. And you'll probably understand why I don't typically do portraits. It is definitely not my forte. The other departure with this particular painting is, as you saw when I was putting the paint in my lovely palette, I am doing it completely as black and white, so gray tones and that. So you don't see many black and white paintings. They're usually always in color, but my reference photo was in black and white. So I decided, why not do something a little bit different? So I'm starting with the background. The video is also sped up 3 times, and it's still 25 minutes long, so I didn't want to put you through having to watch the whole thing, and I really did not feel like doing the voiceover for a full hour and a bit. Not great at doing line work. Plus new brush, so still kind of getting used to it. Might pick up an angle brush, which is similar to the flat brush, except for the bristles are cut on an angle. I was also going to pick up a brush for basically pinstriping, so a relatively long set of bristles to be able to. They're typically the brushes that pinstripers use when detailing cars and that, but it can come in handy for just regular painting as well. So you may have seen this picture of Rosa Parks. She is riding a bus, which of course is what she became famous for. So the lights coming through the window is very, very bright, and of course the side of the bus, the inside of the bus, is very, very dark because of the contrast. Now, the one thing that I definitely noticed about using these new brushes is the amount of water and both water and paint that the bristles hold. They were ridiculously expensive. They were or are professional quality, so they were fairly expensive, but I am definitely seeing the benefit of the quality of brush. Plus, I was afraid that the previous one that I had been using, the tip part that had the bristles was going to fall out because it was really, really loose and it was really hard to work with. So, but they were also very, very cheap. Pretty certain I just got them at like the dollar store or something like that. I personally find doing portraits quite stressful because you can, if you know who the portrait is of, you can see when it doesn't look like them. So I've tended to shy away from doing portraits. For me, painting is supposed to be enjoyable, and portraits is just stress. So I try not to do too many of them. And when I do, the whim has to hit me. But I've found that the secret to achieving a decent portrait, whether it was like pet portraits, like I did yesterday, or people portraits, is you do need a really good sketch. So this one took me forever. I had to erase quite a bit of it until I finally got it to an acceptable place. So I don't hate the finished product, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. It's also the whole letting go of perfection. You know, these little exercises are supposed to be quick. You're not supposed to spend hours and hours on them. You're just trying to paint for the sake of painting. But it's still really hard. I still like to create pieces that when people look at them, they know, oh, that's so and so. Now, how many people would actually know Rosa Parks nowadays? I don't know. I don't know what the American education system is like, let alone Black history in the American education system. I have no idea what it's like. So who knows? People might just be like, oh, that's assuming that it's a Black woman on a bus. I was really, really hoping to use the 1/4 inch flat brush for the whole painting. Didn't quite work out that way, mostly because the face is so small. The 1/4 inch brush was just too much for it, so and just trying to capture the different levels of the shadows from the window, the light shining through the window. Aren't you glad I sped this up 3 times? I know I am. This would have been painful. I was considering not even posting a video with this one, but I've found that in life in general, that as soon as you start making excuses to not do something that you said that you were going to, you start making excuses in other areas as well. So I know this about myself, so I decided that despite all the work and effort that these paintings take to do the video, I figured no excuses. I'd paint this as well, or post this as well. I really like the painting style where you use the 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, depending on the size of the actual painting, and you basically just have these thick lines of different colors that miraculously end up looking like a face. Usually it's portraits that I see it, and that's what I was kind of hoping for with this one. But it is a little daunting when you start experimenting in either mediums that you're not familiar with or styles that you're not comfortable with. I grew up believing that the only people who deserve the accolade of artist are those who do photographic like paintings. So hyper realistic, like you don't know if you're looking at a painting or a photograph. They're just that good. And so it's been a lot of work for me mentally to accept that there's different styles of artwork out there, and everybody's an artist. If you create, whether it's oils or acrylic or watercolor or colored pencil or charcoal, it doesn't matter. You're an artist. If you create pieces of art, you're an artist. And it took me a long, long, long time to realize this. And usually, I like to create Christmas cards. So this past Christmas, I gave all of my employees a hand-painted Christmas card. And I get this all the time. Like, why are you doing the work that you're doing? I'm in the military, and this is how I deal with stress. It's what I enjoy doing, is just painting. But every time they're like, why are you not an artist full time? Why are you doing this? Why, and it's not that easy. I was always, I wouldn't say raised, but I grew up believing that I was never a good enough artist. So I actually gave up painting for close to 20 years and only started painting again when I realized that it was a really excellent way for dealing with stress and anxiety and PTSD. And, it can be extremely meditative. And it was just one of those things that I picked up and I haven't put back down. Plus, I'm sure other people can confirm this, but It's like once you try and make a career out of something that you love, it can easily turn into something that you don't anymore. And for me, it became more important to create for me and nobody else than it was to try and create artwork to sell. And it took me a very, very long time to share my artwork. I wouldn't even paint in front of my husband. I was that afraid of the critical opinion. And it's especially challenging posting this one because I know that I am not a great portrait artist. Because let's face it, hands suck, feet suck, getting the posing correct, getting the expression, getting the proper proportions in the face and trying to capture expression and everything like that. Like it's hard. It's an extremely hard subject to become really good at. I've done a few pieces that even I look at and it's like, wow, I can't believe I painted that. But they are few and far between. I probably should have started with the face because if I screwed up the face, then I could have just stopped the painting process. But no, I guess I decided to do it the hard way. So looking at it, I know that I don't have the expression quite right. If you're familiar, it's a very famous photo that I'm using as a reference. And in the painting, it looks like she's frowning, but in the photograph, it looks like there's like a little upturn in the corner of her mouth, like she's smiling just a little bit. And I don't think I quite achieved it. The other challenge with this painting as well is that she wears glasses. So I almost didn't put the glasses in, but I did. And I don't hate how it turned out. It's hard trying to get the lighting correct. And here's putting in the glasses. I've decided that glasses suck. If it's from the front or like a 3/4 view, that's a little bit different because you actually see the glasses, whereas this is in profile. So just the perspective of the glasses and the light shining in, and oh, it was not fun. But they're in there. It doesn't look too bad. And like I mentioned, hands suck. But it's not looking too bad. And we're almost done, so just adding in some chunky highlights. Without hopefully ruining the painting. Just trying to add in some depth and reflection of the metal here. And continuing the pattern of her dress. This part was challenging as well, but it's not as bad as trying to do fishnets. Fishnets suck. Decided that the dress needed to be in the shadows a little bit more. Just trying to do a few little touch-ups in the last little bit. But there we go, we're basically done. Happy Rosa Parks Day. And thank you for watching.